Things may come and things may go, but horrors are here to stay. Welcome back to RPG Horror Stories, where I go on Reddit so you don't have to! Another week, new horrors, same old spiel. So, just to explain this for people who may be new to this, what we are doing is we are going to Reddit to r/RPG Horror Stories and reading the top few from this week, and then refreshing our minds with a glory story at the end. Are you excited? I'm excited. Let's jump on in. This one is titled, I Can't Take My Own Turns During Combat. What? Alright, well, let's do it. This is a bit of a short and mild one, I think. My sister is a very smart person, really good at math, and a bit more experienced in some aspects of the game, but less experienced in others. But she sometimes struggles to break the older sister persona during RPG sessions. I'm fine outside of combat, but when there's combat, she will often tell me exactly what to do when it's my turn. Now, you go over there and attack the guy running away using skill XYZ, etc. I brought this up with her, but when I make my own decisions, she would say afterwards, you could have just done XYZ, or you should have done XYZ. This is already like getting something in the back of my brain of backseat gaming. If someone's driving, don't tell them how to drive. If somebody's playing a video game, don't tell them how to play the video game. If somebody is role-playing, don't tell them how to role-play. Sometimes her suggestions are even something I would have done anyway, but it's the principle of it. It makes me feel like I can't play properly. Right now, I'm playing a character that canonically a bit stupid, so it doesn't make me feel bad when I mess up. But, to be honest, I don't think I'm stupid. When I play with other people, I don't feel like this as much. That's a major thing about gaming and role-playing, is some people can make you feel like a complete idiot. But you're not an idiot. You're not. You're playing the character right, because you're playing it exactly how you would play it. If people are telling you how to play your character, and they're saying you're playing your character wrong, they don't know shit. It's not their character. You know what I mean? One time I really tried to push a plan I had, but it didn't work out. And while I didn't say anything, she could sense I was disappointed. She said something like, see, if I help you, you get upset. But if I don't help you, you also get sad. Oh, fuck you. Oh my god. Oh, God. I just can't win with you, can I? No, you shouldn't be backseat gaming. Oh my god, okay. We wanted to play again soon, and I think I'll just try to not let it get to my ego as long as she doesn't overdo it. How did you guys handle similar situations? Okay. This is interesting. I've never had one of these stories end with a question before. This is your older sister, right? For anybody else, if you're playing with siblings, I mean, there can get some hairy, scary moments in there when you start playing with it. Like I had one recently with my home game, which has my siblings in it. Most of them anyway. It used to have all of them, and something happened, and I no longer felt comfortable with all of my siblings at the table. But I had to make a sacrifice for the longevity of the campaign and the comfortability of everybody at the table. So I just trimmed the people that made them uncomfortable, which is a really hard thing to do. But the steps that I took before I had to make that choice, whereas if you're a player rather than a DM, would be to get yourself out of that situation and just decide that maybe playing with my siblings isn't the best idea at all points in time. I would definitely recommend talking with, well, this is talking to the sister, so I'd recommend talking to her and just laying it all out on the table, being upfront. I know confrontation is scary, I get it, but sometimes you gotta do it. And if she is still doing that after you have talked to her and set those boundaries, then I would say don't play games with her. She's playing games with you, don't play games with her. You know what I mean? She's not perfect, but she's not a bad person. And in reality, we truly appreciate each other. Talking about it here has helped a lot. I hope it helped. Backseat gaming is a big thing that happens quite often. But it simply comes down to this, where if people are backseat gaming you, all you have to do is look at them and go, hey, are you playing my character? No? Then shut the fuck up. It comes down to that, simply. Because you created this character, you play this character, it is your character, not their character. You know what I mean? All right, short and sweet. On to the next. This one has a bigotry warning, so for those of you who get triggered by those types of scenarios, I will put a timestamp right here, and that is when this story will end, and you can continue watching the video from there. This one is titled, We're Superheroes, Ma'am. A group I'm in that does a DC Comics themed play-by-post game decided, after years of play, that it had gotten too dense to be inviting new players, along with people getting frustrated about certain stories reaching a conclusion and then having nowhere to go. Longtime players ghosting, etc., to have a reboot. It was a good idea, and some newbies made themselves right at home. Some did. I was playing Beast Boy, and invited various of people to join the Titans. Side note, Beast Boy is my favorite superhero. DC superhero, that is. Spider-Man's my Marvel superhero, but I love Beast Boy. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I figured that traditionally, maybe Titans tend to be kind of misfits. Beast Boy got along with them, so when someone joined up as a sewer-dwelling rat-themed heroine, I was open to the idea initially. We role-played the recruitment conversation, and it was like pulling teeth, getting her to give any indication why she wanted to exit the sewers to help people, what her abilities were outside of has-rat features. I'm sorry, I don't know why that... I'm just imagining a superhero interview that's just like, all right, welcome to the interview process. You've made it past the initial things. We're very impressed by your abilities. So I have a few follow-up questions here. What is your superhero name?
Oh, yeah, that's real simple. I'm Rat Girl.
Rat Girl, short, to the point. I like it. Okay. And what are your superhero abilities?
I do rat things.
Rat things. Could you be more specific?
You know the things that a rat does?
Yes, I'm familiar with a rat.
I do those.
Literally, like any other specifics other than rat-like abilities?
Nah, it's just it's straightforward. Rat. I am rat.
Oh, okay. Cool. We'll circle back to that one. Why did you leave the sewers to help people?
Oh, right. We leave the sewers. You see, rats are everywhere, and so I also wanted to be everywhere.
That's not real. That's not a reason why you wanted to. What?
It's simple. Put rat for every answer.
That's silly. I like it. She seemed to have zero direction, and people kept DMing me their admiration for how much goddamn patience I was having with someone who seemed to repel any and all hooks held out to her with total obliviousness. Last week, we had a story. At least the DM aren't just throwing burner phones one after the other, and they're changing the plot hooks and things like that. This continued until the horror story bit kicked in. She starts dropping a couple of racist jokes into the general chat. Oh no! Oh no! Not Rat Girl! They got her too! But also on the other hand, I'm just imagining it's like, yeah, you did really good out there. Yeah, I was really proud of you. You're really fitting into the team.
Hey, thanks, I appreciate that. But, I was just doing my dirty. One less dirty raccoon in the city.
Whoa. What do you have against raccoons?
No, I'm not saying I have anything against raccoons. All I'm saying is that we need less of them in this city. You know what I mean?
Whoa, that's some hateful speech right there.
I'm not being hateful. I'm being truthful. That's all I'm being. I'm just saying that raccoons are taking the rat jobs. That's all I'm saying.
Little too close to reality for some of us. Maybe. Everyone is just stone silent in confusion, and on realizing no one was down for this, she panicked and immediately quit the group.
I see you guys aren't cool like me. I guess I'm just gonna kick it then.
It was almost too bizarre to even to be offended by. Like if an alien crawled out of wreckage in an open field to call me a slur. This just has me so tickled. Just, oh, look, Bobby, it's an alien. What's it doing here?
Bitch.
This one's fun. Rat Girl the super racist. That's amazing. Yeah, the problem got dealt with real quick. She left the group. Yeah, don't be racist. Pretty simple. Pretty straightforward. I just love how everybody was too stunned to say anything. All right, on to the next. This next one is titled D&D player freaks out at DM for running an anime-themed game. I'm going to hold out judgment on this one, because if I jumped into a game and it was all of a sudden anime-themed, I would also be highly confused. Let's jump in. This happened before we started the game in earnest. I had been lurking in this D&D Discord server for a couple of months. In between games, people would share memes, art, talk about the game, etc. One of the forever DMs in the server decided to boot up a new game, so we began recruiting players, and then got to make a channel. About 2 weeks later, we had our session 0. The premise was a chaotic world with multiple continents with different themes, like lava, ice, shadow, desert, fae, tropical beach, rainforest, etc. We started out in a rainforest city ruled by a shogunate under the attack of a vampire emperor, and looked sort of like Seraphith from the Final Fantasy. Not the Final Fantasy, from Final Fantasy. I don't know how many there are now. There's not a single... Never mind, moving on. DM also explained all the homebrewed races he had for us, mostly from anime or mythology, especially Japanese mythology. He also homebrewed 3 classes along with traditional ones. There was a Demon Hunter class, a Dark Summoner class, and a Vampiric Legion class. DM then showed us some concept art he drew up for the world, and it had an unmistakable anime theme. It was sort of giving One Piece, with some Final Fantasy vibes mixed in too. You know what, rescind my last statement. This sounds so cool. I want to play in this world. Oh my god. I would love to play a Demon Hunter. Come on. Just have all these sword techniques and things like that. Have one that you go through and that's your subclass. And sign me up. My name is on the list. Can I make a prediction? Somebody's going to call somebody a weeb derogatory in this story. I'm fully expecting it. DM explained this to us as we began creating our characters based on the forms the DM gave us to help us make sense of some of the homebrew. I remember making this Kitsune barbarian who was adopted into a Dragonborn clan for the Lava Continent. Okay, also wait, we're gonna take a step back here a second. Like, this DM, granted, it's if people are not familiar with anime, of course it might be an alien concept to them, but this DM is doing every little thing right. Explain the world, have a map of the world, have concept art, have homebrew classes that fit within the setting, have a fully fleshed out story, a plot hook to get you in there, and so many more things. This DM is doing everything right. What's the player not going to see? As I was building my character, one of the players, I'll call him Jack, who had not said a word all session, piped up and said, "Wow, a lot of weird anime stuff in this campaign." DM just said, "Yep, that was what I was going for." And then kept on as he began to explain the gods, spirits, religions, and philosophies in the world, and their buffs, so we could pick one. But then Jack interrupted and said, "I thought this was D&D. The DM said, "No worries, it's still more or less 5e rules." This DM did the exact thing you're supposed to do in this scenario. If somebody calls one of your passions, one of your hobbies, one of the things you love to do weird, the best thing to do is just say, "Yeah, that's kind of what I plan to do. Yeah." Anyway, here's some more about actually Japanese tree spirits and how they actually have an entire segment within the race. And Jack said, "Yeah, right. 5e rules with kitsunes, demon hunters, and Japanese clans and shit. What next? Are we gonna have a lolicon race?" Another player just kind of chuckled and said, "What the fuck?" What the fuck is right? And DM said, Okay, so clearly you have no idea what anime is. If you don't like the theme, you can play another campaign. And he said, why are you getting so defensive? Ha! Typical Discord mod who probably has terabytes of little anime girls you swear are 10,000-year-olds. That's probably why you included vampires too. A fairly high chance that you are an ironic fascist too. And then the DM banned him from the channel. Cut him off mid-sentence! Cut him off! Oh, I love that! This guy is clearly a bigot. Like, very clearly an incel, right? But not the body pillow hugging ones. I'm talking about the fucking toxic masculinity. Animes are cartoons. Cartoons are for kids. And you're probably one of the people the bad version of that. Just starting off is like, wow. A lot of weird anime stuff in this campaign. Yep, that's kind of what I was going for. So anyway, these tree spirits, the Japanese tree spirits, are actually connected to the whole ecosystem of this one specific forest. I thought this was D&D. No, yeah, it's still D&D. It's 5e rules, more or less. It's just a setting I created, you know? Yeah, right. 5e rules with demon hunters and kitsunes. What's next? We're gonna have a lolicon race. Okay, so clearly you are not really vibing with the theme of this campaign, and that's fine. Just go ahead and play in a different campaign. But we're gonna keep on going here. Wow, you're really gonna like try and silence me? Oh wow, that's so typical. I bet you have 10,000 terabyte ban. Anyway, sorry about that. Let's go into the mythology of the dragons in the spiritual realm. Like that. Cut them off. Especially if you have the power and you're not in person, like you're playing on Discord or something like that. Don't let them finish their sentence. Don't give them the satisfaction. Just ban them. Get them out of here. That's so toxic. DM was quiet for a second, so another player said, ignore that jackass. I like your campaign idea. I then agreed and said, yeah, never thought I'd be able to say I played as a kitsune barbarian with a dragonborn stepdad. DM chuckled, then made a joke about how crazy the Dragonborns are in this campaign. He then continued on, and we started our Session 0 exploration. The campaign is still ongoing, and we're having a blast. That's so good. I am so glad that, like, this is what I've said before. I've said it in previous videos, but DMs have a finger on the pulse of all your players, but also players have the finger on the pulse of your DMs. If somebody does something and you clearly see that it bothers them, and granted the problem got dealt with, check in with your DMs. Like every once in a while, check in with your DMs. Make sure that they're having fun, because guess what? They're playing the game too. Granted, they're in charge of, keeping track of the rules and the setting and the story and things like that, but it's still a game for them. They're still playing. And I loved how everybody just jumped in here and was just like, hey, don't worry about that, jackass. I love your idea. And it's a really cool idea. I personally really love this idea and want to learn more about it. And especially you said the Dragonborns are crazy. I immediately thought that, like, if this is Japanese folklore, Dragonborns would look different. They would not have Western dragon heads. They would have Eastern dragon heads with, like, the little tendrils coming off and the long square snout. I love that idea so much. All right. That's great. I love that. Now, we've been dealing with a lot of horror, but it's time to refresh our mind, regain some faith in humanity. Granted, that last story had a lot of restoration and faith in humanity, for me at least. But we are going to read a glory story. For those that don't know, a glory story is the opposite of a horror story. It's where things go right. A plan goes off exactly how it's supposed to, or not supposed to, in a very cool way. Something funny happens, not at the expense of others. This one I actually pulled from r/RPG GloryStories, which recently got revived, which I'm very happy about. This one is called The Time My Players Completely Ruined All My Plans, and It Was All Okay. let's jump in. I wanted to share this story I have about my Pathfinder table because it's really sweet and helped me fall back in love with DMing. I've been DMing for the better part of a decade now, but had to step away for my health. Thankfully, I was able to start up a new game for a table for my online friends. I had never played TTRPG with them before, and for more than half of the group, this was their first time experiencing a TTRPG. We were all learning together how to play Pathfinder 2e, and none of us were familiar with the system. We start things out after a train crash in forest traversing. My players are in the haunted orphanage I cooked up. As they begin to discover all the horrible things that went on in the haunted orphanage, they find themselves having met a young orphan named Beryl. Beryl was a sweetie pie, who the players instantly fell in love with, and everyone went out of their way to socialize with her at all times. What they did not know was that Beryl was meant to be a trap. As part of the evil cult's ritual that owned the orphanage, they were doing bad magic stuff, and one of the victims was Beryl's girlfriend, Alicia. Beryl wanted to save her greatly and was focused on that, and the party became invested and wanted to do it too. What the party didn't know, however, was that Beryl was a big part in why the orphanage was haunted, as she had already been killed and they were interacting with her ghost. Oh, I love putting shit like that in there. I have stuff like that planned for my current campaign. I can't go into specifics because I know some people from my campaign watch this, but just letting you know that I think it's going to be really fun. But the whole, finding out, oh, they're dead? I love that so much. Now, in my head, the logic felt pretty sound. The party would interact and bond with Beryl, becoming attached to her, realize she is dead, become heartbroken and extra motivated to stop the cult, only to then go into the cult room where Alicia would ask where Beryl was. The party would try to explain. Alicia would discover the truth, hijack the ritual, and cast a spell that threatened to bring down the moon Majora... Wait. Whoa. Alicia would discover the truth, hijack the ritual, and cast a spell that would threaten to bring down the moon Majora's Mask style. Hell yeah! Big moon drop! Moonfall! Just straight up. Why fucking play around with it? You guys are in a haunted orphanage, you were in a train crash, everything like that. This person, she's gonna bring down the fucking moon. It's coming crashing down, and you gotta stop it. I love that so much. That's what was supposed to happen. Instead, the party found Beryl's corpse and realized she was dead. They did not even give me a chance to speak, discussing among themselves what everybody knew about resurrection and what they could do to bring her back. For 45 minutes, the party debated the ethics of bringing her back, using the cult's own ritual spellbooks against me to brute force the magic for it. They were level 3. Is there anything around me that could possibly have yeah, go ahead and roll an investigation check. Nat 20. God fucking yeah, you find out hidden in a corner there are some spell books actually. Oh really? What did the spell books say? Oh, actually they're written in Infernal. So well actually good thing I'm a tiefling so I could read Infernal. Fuck. Okay. They actually have some resurrection magic in there. Guys, I found it! We got resurrection magic! I love that so much. At this point, I had a choice to either just tell them they couldn't do it, or to play along and see what happens. I played along, making a psycho-om-pomp? What's psycho-om-pomp? One research later. I do not know what psycho-om-pomp was. It didn't show up. So if anybody in the comments knows what that's supposed to be, let me know. Cool. Moving on, I played along making that character on the spot and requiring a deal to be made with the players. The party sacrificed one wing, one eye, one leg, and one arm to bring Beryl back to life. And then, to top it off, they went to make sure Alicia's soul could escape the cult too. Beryl has now become our honored 6th party member, despite me being militantly against DMPCs. I want to reinforce that for more than half the party, this was their first time playing a TTRPG. And yet, through sheer brute force will and the power of friendship, they completely nuked my campaign plans from orbit. And I couldn't be happier. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about right there. Your plans getting shoved out the window in the best way possible. I love that so much. I'm also kind of against DMPCs, but in one of the campaigns I ran, like, they had these minion kobolds that were they were fighting, and they didn't kill one, and they interrogated him. But instead of, like, you know, beating him, they just gave him stuff, and I was just like, well, the character, like, kind of fell in love with you guys, and he kind of stuck around, and he helped them kill the big bad guy, and then stole his mech suit and became an artificer. I love that so much, like, unbelievably so much. Those were some excellent stories right there, and thank you so much for sticking with me with this. I greatly appreciate it. If you like this, go ahead and like and subscribe, because there are going to be more videos coming out in the future. I got plans for good videos coming out, and I hope that you're here with me to see them. If you have an RPG horror story or glory story, go ahead and write it down in the comments. I'm probably going to end up doing a video where I read your guys' glory stories or horror stories, upcoming probably this month sometime. So get it in before that time. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and check out the other videos on my channel. I've got a whole plethora of RPG horror story videos on there, and a few other things for people if you're looking to get into DMing or playing, or if you're looking for homebrew items. I've got that as well. Go ahead and leave me a comment telling me which of these stories was your favorite or least favorite, depending on how you look at it. And yeah, for now, I will say Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and I will catch you in the next one.